little bit. Just move your chair a little bit.
A bit more?
It's getting freeze.
Yeah.
It's too important.
Yeah. Hello, namaste, and welcome back to Disha in Australia. We are live on YouTube and very soon on Moroni Radio. Today, I have two amazing guests with me. So, would you like to introduce yourself?
Happy to go first. My name is Anisha and I studied a Bachelor of Advanced Computing at the ANU. This is my second year here.
Good. Hi, I'm Yang, and I study psychology, bachelor's, and it's my first year as well.
So today we are discussing about reality of being a university student. It's more about just showing a fancy life and actually getting into how it is to be like a uni student in a different country. So all of us are international and we are here to share our international experiences as well as how is university life as a student for us in reality. So we'll be just going live on Voroni Radio and we'll be back. You're making one promotional video for Instagram.
Are we the last living souls? Are we the last living souls?
Hello, namaste, and welcome back to Disha in Australia. Today, I again have two amazing guests with me at my podcast, and today we are discussing about reality of being a university student. It is beyond the fancy university life that we always see, and it is diving deep into how it is to be like a university student. So today, I have two amazing guests. Would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Anisha. I'm currently studying Advanced Computing, Bachelor of Advanced Computing, and I'm in the second year.
Hi, I'm Yang, and I'm studying Bachelor of Psychology, and I'm in my first year.
And we have a mixed review from India and China. And let's get started. Tune into the show in Australia right now. We're live on Moroni Radio and on YouTube. You guys want to read it? It's good.
It's good.
Oh, it's good. I was just wondering, do we need to put the headphones on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you won't be able to sing.
Oh,
Such an
okay.
awkward angle.
It is beyond the fancy university life that we always see, and it is diving deep into how it is to be like a university student. So today I have two amazing guests. Would you like to introduce yourself?
This is so awkward.
Is it fine?
No, it's like super short and straight.
Nisha, I think Puneet's calling you.
What is it?
As always, please remember.
Oh,
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Okay, so this is our live. I'm just pasting the link and then we're starting.
I am Yang, and I'm studying Bachelor of Psychology, and I'm
This is so loud
And
today.
this is so loud.
From India and China, and let's get started. Tune into the show in Australia right now. We're live on Moroni Radio and on YouTube.
This is so short.
Don't worry about that. We'll cut that part. Hello, namaste, and welcome back to Disha in Australia. Today, I again have two amazing guests with me at my podcast, and today we are discussing about reality of being a university student. It is beyond the fancy university life that we always see, and it is diving deep into how it is to be like a university student. So today, I have two amazing guests. Would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Anisha. I'm currently studying Advanced Computing, Bachelor of Advanced Computing, and I'm in the second year.
I am Yang, and I'm studying Bachelor of Psychology, and I'm in my first year.
And we have a mixed review from India and China. And Let's get started. Tune into the Shine Australia right now. We're live on Varuni Radio and on YouTube. Hello, namaste, and welcome back to Disha in Australia. Today, I again have two amazing guests with me at my podcast, and today we are discussing about reality of being a university student. It is beyond the fancy university life that we always see, and it is diving deep into how it is to be like a university student. So today, I have two amazing guests. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Anisha, which one is your ID? That one. Yeah,
I am Yang.
I remember yours.
Hmm.
It's so interesting.
Hello, namaste, and welcome back to Disha in Australia. Today, I again have two amazing guests with me at my podcast.
Okay, we are starting, so you can all wear your headphones.
Hello, namaste, and welcome back to Disha in Australia. And we are back again with two amazing guests. But before that, we would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land we are meeting on the Nagunwal people and Nagambri people. We pay respects to elders past, present, and emerging. We acknowledge that the name Voroni was taken from the people of Wadi Wadi Nation without permission, and we are striving to do better for future reconciliation. So, hello everyone, and welcome back to Disha in Australia. How have you been? So, today at Disha in Australia, we have two amazing guests. Would you like to introduce yourself, guys?
Hi, my name is Yang, and I study Bachelor of Psychology, and I'm in my first year.
And I'm Anisha. I'm studying a Bachelor of Advanced Computing, and I'm in my second year of university.
Today, we are sharing about our experiences as a university student, but in a more realistic zone, in a more realism and beyond what is already shown, like a fancy uni life. It's not fancy for any one of us, and today is all about breaking the pattern of being having just going abroad and having a fancy life, which definitely is not. Do you guys have any view on that? Like, how do you think our life is here?
I'm happy to go first. Disha, what you said really makes sense and resonates with me because when I was planning to go abroad, I was definitely very excited and looking forward to it. But coming to Australia has also made me realize that in addition to having fun, it is also a reality check because now you're away from your family. So um, a lot of times you just have to deal with things and do with things in your own way and independently. You've got a set of rules and responsibilities. Also, coming from India, um, according to what my dad says at least, you're not an adult unless you have graduated from university. I think the expectations when you're abroad is completely different because I've definitely felt more of an adult, independent. For example, taking care of my own finances, studies, everything. So I think it's that change of expectations that I've also had to work with, in addition to the excitement about studying overseas, which I'm obviously loving.
I have a slightly more different experience because my parents are with me when I came to Australia. So I live off campus and with my parents, so that is slightly different. But overall, the experience as being a international student is the same. The independence is very much required for being studying in the university here. So overall, I agree with.
Do you think that there's like an image that is portrayed in our heads before we actually get in the university, and that's the image that is perceived by everyone around you? And you come here, you get a reality check, you realize that, oh, this is not the same as what I expected. But that doesn't change the opinion of other people who are in the same boat as you were in the past, when you didn't know that, okay, this is the reality check. And this pattern keeps on going, and no matter how hard you try, still people think that, oh, you're having fun, even though it's like a lot at once.
I might take that one, and Disha, also want to hear your thoughts about it as well because you're also an international student. Definitely. So back home, my friends are like, "Oh, you're having fun, you're loving like life, you're just enjoying and stuff." But to be honest, my friends have always been quite understanding of um, the situations I'm in, so they know that it's a lot of times hard work and hard study. So it's great in that aspect, but one kind of expectation, just to answer your question, would be, since at ANU we do 4 courses, but my friends back home do like, I don't know, 6, 7 courses a semester. They think that it's very easy to like do 4 courses full time, since it's obviously much lesser than 8 courses. But honestly, I feel like 4 courses a semester is a lot of workload. It's sometimes more than 40 hours a week of workload if you like put in a lot of effort. But in addition to that, you also do a lot of other things. So I think that kind of difference in expectations is has always been a bit hard to communicate with friends and family back home.
My experience is that back in my home country, students are all required to live on campus and stay at school for most of the week. So when I said that, when I mentioned to my friends that I can like watch lectures at home and just attend like tutorials, they thought that I was like living my life here. But actually, it's quite tiring when the assignments pile up together, which they don't really experience. So
Anisha, would you like to go on that mic? Because Puneet says that we can't hear. So you can go to that one. You move to that mic. Your mics are off, so it's not going.
Are you able to hear me on this? Yeah.
okay. Do you mind just like taking this? This
Oh, yeah.
it's like strained here.
Sorry,
It's
sorry,
okay.
sorry. Just confusing.
Okay. So, as Anisha said about the international student experience over here, and about how our image of being an international student is perceived by people back home and even by ourselves, um, whenever we share stories, do you think most of the times we share stories which are really normalized by the society and not the stories that we actually have over here? It's like more about going into what everyone goes as a bandwagon effect and lesser about being real. It's more about what people like to see about me and less about how my life is in real life.
Yeah, I might give you this one first.
Okay. Before I started university, I used to go on social media and just like scroll through and see how other uni students are like, and they were having fun. So I thought before I came here that it would actually be like more freedom and less workload and like more generally relaxing. But actually, when I started, it wasn't really like this. So it was kind of a shock to me, but you just have to get used to it, I guess.
Disha, I just wanted to check, was your question about how I found things different here in when I came to university?
My question was about like, um, are we the ones who normalize the things and like make it and just post stuff on social media about only a part of life that is happy and not actually being super real about our life, and then also complaining that people don't perceive us.
Yeah, that's a very good question. A lot of times, so this is what I do. A lot of times, I just, share the kind of good news or the kind of shareable news with people in general that I'm not very close with, because if I don't want to keep going into that loop of explaining that, oh, this is why things are not working for me and all, because it doesn't make sense. I do not want to share my personal life to people that I probably last met maybe 5 years ago. But I think communication is very important. I've always stressed on communication, and I always share the difficulties and the challenges I go through, so that everybody around me that I care about has a more, better understanding of what I'm going through. And I also reciprocate this. So when there are people close to me and they're doing something vastly different from what I do, I always make sure to listen. So I think it's a two-way communication, goes both ways, and it helps a lot. It's so different. Before, I would not communicate so like conveniently with people, but after I started communicating my difficulties in addition to my happinesses, people have become much more understanding, because in some ways they're able to put themselves in your shoes, and likewise.
True, truly makes sense. Um, I also feel like that there have been times when you actually feel that, oh, there are things that I'm doing that I might not do in my home country, and then you suddenly have this whole feeling of, oh, I'm so proud of myself for doing that. And it's like such a good feeling, because I know that if I was back home, I would never do that because I didn't have to do that. So now here, when you're working, you're studying, and you also carry your groceries back home by yourself. I mean, these are little things, but these things are like so huge, because I remember there are days when I have to like go on a 6 or 8 hour shift. Then I have to carry back my weekly groceries and also do the study and do the assignment, which was apparently yesterday only. And like cook food too, and then everything. And then on the way, I was realizing you are really doing something, you would never do that. And I was so proud, because these little things just make me feel that I am brave, I'm strong, and no matter, I don't I really recognize the struggles and the journeys of different people, but I feel like I am proud of my journey, because the way it is being built up, I really like that, because it has never been the thing that everything was granted to me. It was right in front of me. I had to fight for my opportunities. I had to fight even for a job. You just don't go and give the resume and you get the job. You have to like actually get there, do interviews, be really passionate about the job, and like having the will. And in the university too, you just can't fill the application out. You just got it. In your application, you have to like be very sincere about university and stuff. So I think that nothing is granted to us, and it's been a beautiful journey where you realize that, okay, even after, like, it's not every time that you will always win. There are times when you fail. And for the longest times, my biggest fear was to fail. But I think gradually I realized that the things that you don't get into are basically not meant for you, and you have always gotten something better. So I've started believing more in universe plans, and I read this in one book that wearing your failures as ornaments and embracing them rather than being embarrassed about them is the most beautiful thing. And I've truly felt it here, because you won't get everywhere. Like you'll be applying to a lot of places, but there are things that you think are meant for you, but they're not actually meant for you. So no matter how hard you try, you don't get it. And there are things that you feel that are not made for you, but you still get them because you were meant to be there. So what's your take on that? Have you had any experiences where there were things that you felt that, oh, I really wanted to get in there, but you didn't get it, and then after you realized, oh, that's good that I didn't get in there.
I've had multiple such experiences. But I feel like I cannot remember anything specific for now. But Disha, I think that was very well articulated about um, being a fit about things. So I I like very strongly believe that rejection is redirection. So a lot of times you might think, like you said, that you might think that it was made for you and it was perfect for you, but turns out things didn't work out and you ended up getting a different experience. It actually happened to me this semester, and I remember now, where I was really hoping to apply into a role and get it. And I very strongly believed that I was a fit for it. Things happened, I didn't get it. But then I also ended up getting a different role, which enabled and completely broadened my perception of the opportunities and like the world that exists beyond my the little bubble that I was in. So I think that was great. That being said, the opportunity that I got rejected to was fascinating, and I'm going to go back with it. But I know that going forward in the future, I've got additional experiences that I probably wouldn't have got unless I had explored things. So I agree with that. And just how you were saying that there are little joys, and for example, carrying getting groceries done. So you get to pick what things you can buy from the supermarkets. You can treat yourself to a little snack, things like that. For me, I've had similar experiences, but the most courageous thing I've done so far is I recently went to Adelaide all by myself. And it was a completely new city. So I was really scared, nervous. I was wondering whether, I was going to miss my flight or, stuff like that. It was very scary. But once I got there, I did not think about anything for the next 7 days. I didn't think about Canberra. I didn't think about anything. I was just in the city. I was having fun. It was a small leap of faith that I took. Went great. I became more confident about myself, and I loved Adelaide so much that I'm going back in 2 months. So very excited about it.
It's actually, I think what you guys said is very like philosophical and very well worded as well. I also had like similar experiences where, as you said, rejection is like redirection. Um, it was moving out of my comfort zone. Um, so I'm not sure how to word it, but it was like a similar leap of faith, and it broadened my horizon in general. So um, I don't really know how to word it, but yeah.
But I think we truly understand your emotions, even though you didn't find how to word that. But I feel that as we are talking about having failures and embracing those failures, um, I think the most of the times I am the person that like, oh, I want to get in here, I want to get in there, and for the longest time, I just felt like I'll just get in there. It will open horizons for me. It will open places for me to go further. But did I actually want that? Or was it I was just going there so that it will appear in my resume and it will give me something or like a title or something? But now I feel that whenever I'm in a particular activity, I want to enjoy that experience rather than having a title of being that. And so, like right now, I'm your very beautiful show host at Disha in Australia. So I feel like this is an opportunity that I am enjoying, and I'm feeling like each episode that I do, I feel like I'm becoming a better person. I'm learning things about people, like I learned about your Adelaide journey, and I feel like when you have the ability to travel 10,000 kilometers alone, all by yourself to a different country, you can obviously travel solo into different states of this country, and that's what I tell my mom every time because I'm like a very I feel like I really like solo traveling. So for me, Canberra has been a place where I am all by myself. So, like going to different places, asking locals about what do you like and what do you. So, I have one friend who also likes traveling. So, we cannot just coordinate every time. So, she just recommends me places and I go there all by myself. But the real joy of going solo is that you're not dependent on anyone for anything. It's just you with yourself, no expectations, no, you don't have to work according to anyone. It's just how you want things to do. If I want to hear Bollywood music that time when I'm there, I will do that. You can't stop me for that. If I want to eat sushi, if I want to eat Indian food, if I want to like have my time, if I want to spend that day, if I want to pamper myself that day, I'm doing it for me because I am responsible for whatever I do on that day. And that's the feeling of freedom. It's the feeling of independence. And um, I remember I went to the Beijing Garden in Canberra, and there was this one place where there were rocks and little water, so it was like shallow water, and it's not like a complete lake or river. So I just dipped my feet in it because I have always loved like being close to the nature. And if I would have been with my friends, it would have been an awkward situation like, should we go there or should we not? But here, it's just I remove my shoes and I'm like in the water. And like, I was able to feel alive, I was breathing, and that's the most beautiful thing I did.
Totally resonate with that. I loved your Beijing park experience. I think I went there as well when we were kind of exploring the embassies in that area. Was it called the Nara Park?
I don't know. I just know it by the Beijing Chinese park.
Yeah, but basically, if you're in that area, you should go visit. It's great.
Yeah.
I think there are lots of times when I do that. I've always been known as a loud person. When I was in high school, my friends, so my class was probably on the fourth floor of the building. And my friends used to be like, hey, you know what? We can hear your voice like three floors below. And they were not lying. It was true. And this was a similar thing that happened in my res hall last year where I made some amazing friends and like everyone. So I think there were about 15 people in that area and everyone knew each other, everyone were friends, and we like had the most fun in our lives and we were loud. So there was like a stair wall that was really close to our rooms, and I'm pretty sure like people on the third floor, people on the second floor could hear us. But did we care? We did not. We had the best fun of our life. Um, we just did whatever we wanted. We didn't think about other people's opinions, and yeah, it was great because now we've got good experiences.
That's lovely.
I think experience is quite important. So, in my environment that I grew up with, it was, the studies, and it was high pressure. So, and people have like high requirements on you. So, when I grew up, I didn't really put my mind about on the experience and just like enjoying the process. And as I grew up, especially now, I met more people and I gradually noticed the importance just enjoying yourself and living in the moment. So it's like a big growth for me.
True, completely agreed to that. And with that, coming back to failures, do you guys have any experience that you want to share that of embracing your failures?
Oh, I did. When I was in middle school, um, I struggled with my math. There was this once that I scored about 50%. It was a very low score for me, and I couldn't really take it. I was like breaking down and stuff. And on the whole way from school to home, I was really worried because I always had like high expectations on myself, and my family also had high expectations on myself. So I was worried how people would like look at my score and if my parents would like scold me or anything. But in the end, like, they actually taught me a lesson, like how you should just embrace your like failures, and you just have to like make sure you do better next time. So it's actually not that big of a deal now that I think about it.
Yeah, completely, completely feel that. I used to freak out every single time I got a low grade. I was like, how do I break it to my mom? How do I break it?
Super
Oh my
nervous.
god.
But in my experience, A lot of times, and I'm getting very real, I've been very afraid of public opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So the way people think of me, whether people think, what I'm doing is right, whatever. Um, so since I was a kid, I really wanted to get into like student politics and leadership. When I was in fourth grade, my teacher came up to me. She was like, "Hey, you know what? You'll be a good fit. So you should try." And then I was really scared. I was like, "Who's gonna vote for me? No one's gonna vote for me." So things like that. So I think right from fourth grade until 12th grade, I really struggled with the public um, opinion thing, and I didn't participate in as many activities or events that I thought were amazing, but which kind of needed some sort of public support and voting, or like just, I was just afraid of public opinion, so I didn't do a bunch of stuff. And personally, I think that is something I regret on, because maybe looking back, I would have enjoyed those experiences, even though I probably wouldn't have done as well. And I think it is right now in university, I think it's really important that I took this learning, and I've kind of worked around it. So I don't really think that much about what others would think about me. I just do it anyway, because people are going to forget about you anyways in a very short period of
Mm-hmm.
time. What really matters is the fact that you remember having fun, and like maybe a few years in the future, you don't go back and be like, what would have happened if I had done this. So
Mm-hmm.
those kinds of unanswered questions are things I want to avoid. And like, I think my association with failure would not be rejections or not doing something well. It's more about not taking that opportunity.
I think I truly love and agree what you said about the unanswered questions. And I have had this one thing in my head that I don't want to have any regrets. So like I just apply and I'm like, okay, worst thing can happen, I won't get it. That's the worst.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And um about embracing the failures and regrets, I want to take this together. So there was this one position I applied in my semester 1 in university, and that was a very high position, and I was involved in the department a couple of times, and I wasn't like, I didn't know a lot of people from that department, or and it was internal voting. And so I was giving my speech, and there was this another girl who gave her speech, who ended up becoming and grabbing that position. So I think that when I didn't get it, I felt bad. But the thing that I really loved was people remembering me from that place. Now, like anywhere I go, I have always seen that people know me from that speech, because I was being real. I was being who I am there. And when I ended my speech, there were so many loud cheers all around the room, everyone showing hearts, and there were like 3 4 people who came personally to me and said that, oh, I loved what you said. I know that I didn't have an experience of the department, and maybe the other person was more capable because of having that experiences. But I think I will always remember that I don't regret not applying there, because of that thing. I went there, I gave my speech, I got my first exposure to being a university, to all these election things in universities. But the best part is people love me from the things that I said there, and they just recognize me from there. So it's beautiful. Like you don't get something, you get something better. Even ANU was not something that I was looking for in the first place, because I never dreamt of studying abroad. I never wanted to come abroad and study. I wanted to get into a top university in India, and that's what I wanted. But I didn't get that. So I came into ANU, which is the top university in Australia, and it is renowned worldwide. So if you don't get something, you get something better. So it's just like a matter of perspectives. And I have started wearing my failures as ornaments, and that's when you become proud of your failures and just don't have any regrets. Just go for it. I love going out solo. I love taking part in different activities. I don't mind failures. If I'll fail today, I'll be doing something better tomorrow. So it's beautiful.
Yeah, I love looking back on experiences and being like, hey, I did that. I probably didn't do as well, but I did that, and here is what I learned, and here is how I can apply it. So it works out really well.
Okay. So, now, is there like sometimes whenever you are applying for something, is there a fear that puts you back and certain things that just comes running to your mind, and even like you are prepared for it for 5 days, you're like, I want to do it, I want to do it. And then when the days come, it's like so much fear, so much nervousness and anxiety that you almost want to withdraw from that particular thing. But you, how do you manage that? Do you still end up doing, or you just like, okay, maybe next time?
I might take that first. So I was there multiple times in the past where I was really scared to apply for an opportunity to go and speak with a person with a very high position or standing, to shake hands with important people. Yeah, so I've been there multiple times, and I was really scared to the extent that I just wanted to withdraw and not do it, kind of try to hide in another person's shadow. But I guess the fact that I'm really driven, um, with my like internal philosophy of do not let any questions go unanswered and do not have any regrets in the future, I've kind of forced myself to like go for any opportunity, even though you make a mistake. We're all humans. We make mistakes. It's fine. People wouldn't remember it. So that's why I just go for it now. And a lot of times I agree that I just, I'm very bashful and I just go for an opportunity and do not really think about it too much. But if you are in a similar position as I was in the past, I think just try to look and think about how much that opportunity means for you. It doesn't have to be that you have to get that opportunity in the first place. There might have been previous people who have previously applied for an opportunity that did not get it, and they are going for it again, and they probably did not get it previously because they already knew that they might not have like fit the eligibility criteria or whatever. It doesn't matter, but they have an experience right now, and it is important to gain experiences first than gaining successes. So yeah, that's what I do. And now if I see people like really cool and amazing people, I'm running over there to go and have a chat with them, like I always do it now.
I want to take this on fear. So last year, in around June, last year I was a mind speaker with Fortis Mental Health, and there was this program called Bullying for Viram or Stop Bullying. So I was bullied almost all my childhood, and I was always scared to present my real self. So I just wanted to let go of that fear because it was too heavy on my heart. And to be very honest, once I have let go that fear, it's no longer there. And I have felt the strongest after that. And there have been numerous times when people from my school say, oh, do you know, like they have been talking about you, the things that you do. And I remember there was this one time I was walking on a street, and there was this one acquaintance who comes and like, oh, so you already know like what people are talking about you. And the best part was I didn't know what they were talking about me, but they were talking about me, so I had an impact over them. And talking about the fear, once you just let your fear out, it's no longer there. And it's the most beautiful experience when there's no fear. And now, no matter what, you can't destroy my confidence, you can't like bring me down, because I've already accepted what you think about me. So, and I have thought to go beyond that perspective and do what I like. So I felt like that was one of the most courageous thing I did when putting out my story. And out of the Mind Speaker program, I was one among the only three people who did that. And it was a big step for us. And to be able to first share it on social media, and then because of that, I was invited back to my school to share my story and to inspire other people. I felt like that was the time. If I would not have done that, I would not have been invited to my same school where I graduated 24 days ago as a speaker, to sit on that chief guest chair which I always manifested all my life. and to be able to sit there and say and share my journey of overcoming this and then going back on a radio. So before like opening my radio show, I was on a radio in India to share again a story of bullying. And this made me strong because I felt like this just went away, and it made me not only like get out of my comfort zone but also inspire other people to overcome bullying and at the same time letting their fear go.
Um, I, I think you're really brave, Disha. And just on the bullying aspect, my brother was bullied during his childhood, and it was a very bad experience. So, in my opinion, I think that a person who is getting bullied, they really do not have any fault, and they should never ever feel scared to bring up um, anything that is in your mind. I understand that it can be really intimidating to do so, but it is never your fault. It is the person who is bullying. It's the people who are bullying you that need a life check. It is never about you. Everyone deserves nice things in the world.
And honestly, about bullying, it's also it's both the bully and the victim, and none of them are at fault. So it's just the conditioning. So most of the people who bully are actually the victims of being bullied.
Past bully victims,
Yeah.
yes.
Mm.
So they have been bullied and they feel that, oh, this is cool. And because people did it to me, so it's okay for me to do that to other people, which is not cool because
Mhm.
no one came to intervene in that situation and tell them, oh, what happened to you was wrong, and what you are doing to other people is more wronger than that. And that's where the issue lies. So when I have said this before too, but like I was bullied, but I won't say that I was the only victim. I have been a bully myself too. So not only I have been bullied, I've been a bully too, because there was no intervention in between. So being living both stages, I know that because I felt like, oh, people commented on my body and they felt that it was okay. And I tried changing myself. I tried whatever I could to like make me feel acceptable in the society. And then when I see some other embracing what I couldn't embrace at that time, I felt like, oh, this is my time to do what people did to me. But that was wrong. And later you realize that once you have the awareness, I think there's a lack of so much awareness. And most bullies are actually the ones that goes through bullying. And when I truly researched and felt that, I felt very bad as a human being because I was bullied, but then I also bullied other people because as they say that the bullies project what they can't do themselves. So now standing here and like saying stuff about bullying, I understand that it is never the fault of the victim and the bully. It is the fault of awareness. Like there's no awareness, there's no person to intervene and tell us what is right and wrong. And because this is a formative years, it's just that you don't understand which direction you are going. It's like so overwhelming and so many things around you, and you can't actually figure out a path like what should I do, what should I not do. And due to that, I feel that there's a need of where people or like parents actually come and tell you that this is a right thing and this is a wrong thing.
Yeah, that is definitely very correct. And I think it's very brave of you to share your past experience like this with us and with all your listeners. I think guidance is very important in your early years. It's like when you're growing a tree and you like lead it to which direction you want to go.
Yeah, I completely agree, Disha. Thank you for sharing your story, and um, I resonate with that. And I'm so glad that you're here inspiring more people to, like, speaking about your experiences. And yeah, just talking about it, spreading more awareness, it's definitely required.
Thank you so much. So Now let's just have a chillax thing. So like I was like I have an assignment due tomorrow. But like the thing is that there's like I don't know what kind of situation is this. I have an assignment due tomorrow. I have a lot of stress, but like at the same time I'm chilling. I'm like hosting my show and there are like 22 hours left for the due. And I still am thinking what should I write. And this is like so university life that you don't actually understand that what's happening and you're still into this random circle of doing stuff and stuff happening. So what's your take on that?
I think it's just when the stress builds into a certain level and you just can't continue doing anything anymore and you just kind
You
of
just procrastinate.
procrastinate and just lay
And
back
then we have the
and waste
adrenaline
time.
rush.
Yeah.
And then we feel like, oh, now we have to do the stuff.
Yeah,
Because
if we
if we
don't do
don't,
it,
yeah, we are screwed.
yeah.
Yeah, I've been there. It's Disha. It's actually 22 minus 8. You need to get sleep as well.
Hmm.
We won't sleep 8 hours.
She slept 4 hours.
Yeah.
Oh,
I got
And
4 hours
I
of
slept
sleep.
at 5 a.m.
oh, that's terrible. And I'm in no better position this week. I had an assignment due at 9 a.m. today. I'm gonna let you guys, fill in the blanks for the rest. But I've like I don't know. I think it's
So you didn't sleep at all?
oh, I went to sleep really late. Let's just leave it at that. And I ended up missing a class in the morning because I had a really early morning class. Yeah. Um, but personally for me, I work really well if I'm working during the day. So I really sincerely try to get some sleep at the night. But sometimes time management is not in my favor. I'm not the best at managing my time, and this is something
Yeah.
I'm working towards. But then again, I don't know, for some reason I just end up writing the best essays and the best articles and the best, like, do my best on my assignments like 4 hours or 5 hours before. So yeah, I
That's so true. I think like when there are like such less time left, I am into my most active zone and I have a rain of creative ideas and they're all overflowing in my head and I just type it down. I was like literally telling her I wrote 1,000 words in 2 hours.
wow.
That's
And
really quick. And that's,
I was like I was at work and then I came back. I was at work and then I went to a lunch break at McDonald's where my friends were working and I asked them like quickly deliver my order and my friends are like so creepy. I can't tell you. They're like shouting my name. Otherwise, McD's like order 174. They'll be like order for the Shah. And they'll
Yeah.
they'll make me walk there. They won't come and serve me as good friends and I have to go there and they're like I'm writing my essay because I needed food also and some caffeine as well. And they're like, oh, how far have you reached? Oh, how far have you reached? I'm like, let me write. Can you like shut up? And then I just wrote 1 hour there and 1 hour after work and then 1,000 words. So stressful. That's how it is, guys. It's like not so easy that I'm chilling around in my house all day and thinking, oh, what should I do next? I have like so much work that if I start thinking, it will it will be like my whole notebook would be filled. Oh, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to do this. And in that cycle we often like miss out a few things as well.
Yeah, and I guess prioritization, like you said, we could have like endless lists of things to do, but prioritizing as to what is more important, what is not as important, helps a lot. And
Yeah.
sometimes it's just inevitable that you cannot do everything. So maybe just pick the things that are most important to you. That helps. And also going back to the like getting the best ideas 4 hours before. I legitimately had this thought about what would have happened if I like start my assignment 3 weeks before it's due and then work incrementally on my assignment. Would I still get these like similar ideas? I did that for a couple of assignments and I realized that turns out like it's obviously less stress, but you also like give your brain some thinking time so you can like keep iterating on your work. And yeah, you just come up with something good. So that is something I've been trying to do just so that I can have a healthier work life balance.
Mhm.
But with this, we have already hit the clock and we have to unfortunately end the show in Australia. Otherwise, I would have been here all night with you guys. Oh, sorry, I have an assignment.
Assignment, yeah.
But what are your final thoughts about having a reality check as a university student?
I think it's important once in a while to like connect with some people with similar experience with me because my friends sometimes at home they don't have similar experience as the international students. So talking with you guys, it's really kind of given me like a better understanding as well as how people around me are getting used to university life, and it's really interesting to know how you guys think about life in general.
Mm.
I love Iang's idea, and I also think not beating yourself too hard for not doing things and not overthinking the outcomes is also great because it's more about accepting the reality and not going off different multiple tangents about what could have been when it's not the case. So like being more forgiving to yourself would definitely help in being more closer to the reality because we
Yeah.
overthink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Thank
a
you.
lovely experience for me as well to have you both on board.
Thank you.
And we had an opportunity to share similar life experiences and also hearing new stories from you guys. How was your experience at the Shine Australia?
It was my first time doing a podcast like this. I'm very nervous, as you probably can hear, but it's very a new experience to me, and I think I did enjoy the process of talking with you. So yeah,
10 love it. Would do it again.
let's do it again.
Thank you so much. And with this, we conclude today's episode at the Shine Australia. Thank you so much to everyone who has joined in. And we'll be live next Monday, 6 p.m. And till then, listen us on loop again and again. Okay, bye bye. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you. It was really fun.
My brain was not working the most of the time.
Oh, my ears
Hi,
feel.
is the next show is already here. I'm so sorry. Like they're waiting outside.
Yeah, sorry.
I have to.